What? Prosecutor Von Karma? You mean... Jesus Christ, this is really loud. Okay, that should be fine. No, I heard it's his successor this time. Successor? Manfred Von Karma? He was a really sinister man. He pulled all sorts of nasty tricks all so he could win. Remember when he tased us? That was some bullshit. He was a man obsessed with the word perfection. He had a perfect record for 40 long years. Who knows what sorts of dirty tricks he used to get each of those guilty verdicts. And now his successor. I wonder what kind of person they will turn out to be. It's no good. Mystic Maya. Pearly. You showed up. Thanks for coming all this way. I was really worried about you. Hey, where's your mother? Didn't you two come together? Mother is watching over the trainees. She said they have training for 2 days straight with no breaks. Huh? Then you came all by yourself? Yep, I snuck out of the manor and followed a map. Don't tell me you walked all the way here. Of course not. I ran. Pearly, you are one brave child. I can't. Oh my. If it takes 2 hours by train. Oh man. Pearly, what about the train? Huh? What's a train? Oh, you're too cute. I give up. It's time, isn't it? I'm really scared. What if Von Karma tries to do something to me? At least I know Mr. Edgeworth would be nicer to me than Von Karma. Mr. Edgeworth? Who is that? He's Nick's rival. Well, he's also a friend. I still remember him as if I had just seen him only yesterday. Every trial was a scorching, fierce battle until the very end. It was always back and forth with them. But when you're rivals for life... Maya, please don't mention that name ever again. Oh. Nick, why? I'm sorry, Maya. I forgot you don't know. He's gone, and he's not coming back. What? Wait a second. What's that supposed to mean? Court will commence shortly. Please proceed into the courtroom. Oh, Nick. Don't, freak Maya out like that right before the trial. She's gonna have a heart attack. Let's go. Now's not the time to talk about that anyway. Nick. Yo, Nick, why are you being so mean? Stop it. Be nice. We already got a glimpse of Von Karma before the actual introduction, which I would have preferred it to have this huge, open, just brilliant introduction to them. But we already saw them, so it's just useless now. I mean, they kinda do, but not as grand as I would hope. Court is now in session for the trial of Maya Fey. Are the prosecution and the defense prepared? What is with this girl? Mr. Wright, are you finally prepared? Yes, Your Honor. Why does he always seem mad at me? Mr. Phoenix Wright. You must be a little shocked because I am a woman, correct? Hold on. So this kid is the famed prosecutor Von Karma? Which means that Manfred Von Karma actually had sexual relations with a woman to produce that. How did that happen? I cannot, unless, the baby mama was as evil as the baby daddy. I don't see how that would work at all, but whatever, we'll go ahead and go on with it. I am Francesca Von Karma, the prodigy. I see. I gave up a promising career in Germany and came to this country for one sole reason. Revenge. Revenge? Is this about her father, Manfred von Karma? If it's something out of a personal nature, I'm sure you can... Ow! I'm talking. That's more Russian, isn't it? I'm sorry. If you interrupt me again, my whip will do the speaking for me. You know, I'm half tempted to not even try to do a German accent with this chick. It's just going to end badly. Please speak with your mouth like a normal person, I beg of you. Ow. Make no mistake, I will defeat you. Prepare to go down, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Prosecutor Von Karma, your opening statement, please. Those of Von Karma blood have only one fate, and that is perfection. The defendant, Maya Fey, will find no escape from her guilt on my watch. Very well. What is the defense's position? Your Honor. Does the defense wish to enter a plea of not guilty? Well, of course. Foolish fool who foolishly dreams of foolish dreams. 10 minutes. I give the defense 10 minutes before it changes its plea. That's right. I'll have you running for the justified self-defense plea in no time. Justified self-defense? Why are you throwing out all this legal mumbo-jumbo I've never heard of before? I'm a lawyer for a couple of years, I've never heard of that. A plea usually reserved for when a person unintentionally kills in defense of himself. We could very easily make a solid case that it was self-defense, but... The defense stands by the plea of not guilty, Your Honor. Because to plead justified self-defense is to say you did kill someone. How foolish. If that's how you want to play it, Mr. Wright, then I shall now call the first witness. She's just as scary as her father. Like father, like daughter, I suppose. Witness, your name and occupation? Yes, sir. My name is Dick Gumshoe. I'm a detective at the local precinct. Get to the point already. Explain to the court the details of this murder. Yes, sir. If everyone would please look at this map. The channeling chamber has no windows and the door was locked shut. At the time of the murder, only the victim and the defendant were in the room. What were they doing in there? They were channeling a spirit, sir. Channeling a spirit? The look of disbelief on the judge's faces. Anyway, a few minutes after the channeling started, gunshots were heard coming from inside the room, sir. A few of the witnesses broke the door down and rushed into the room. Oh, and that's when they found the victim was already dead, correct? I believe this is one of the most open and shut cases I have ever presided over. I mean, you say that, Judge, but, every time you say that, Phoenix is on the defense, and he usually finds a way to get around it. Remember, December 25th of whenever? So, how was the victim killed? I was about to get to that. Stop wasting my time, then. Alright, what was the cause of death? The direct cause of death was a pistol shot to the forehead, sir. The shot was fired from point-blank range. But before the victim was shot, sir, he was stabbed in the chest. The wound was very severe, but not enough to cause instantaneous death. The murderer used the pistol to finish off the victim after the stabbing. You call that open and shut? I can find holes in that for days. You need to do a better job, Gumshoe. Oh wait, no, you need to do a worse job, Gumshoe. I'm sorry. Make this easy on me. So the victim was stabbed before being shot. This is the victim's autopsy report, sir.
The court accepts it into evidence. Mr. Wright, you may question the witness. I swear to God, if you find any holes, I'm going to hold you in contempt of court. But that's my job. I don't care. I'm tired of your bull hockey.
Alright. I don't care about this. Oh wait, maybe I do. I don't care about what you have to say, Gumshoe. I'm just going to press everything. You're just going to drone on anyway. The murder weapon, Detective Gumshoe. Whose pistol was it? It was the victim's. The victim? Now why would he have... Why would he have a pistol? Who cares? The point that you are missing is whose fingerprints are on that pistol. If you're not already paying attention to that, then I suggest you start.
Fingerprints? Were there fingerprints?
Along with the victims. The defendant, my face, were also on the grip, sir.
So, the defendant's fingerprints were left on the murder weapon.
I walked right into her hands there. Yeah, shot was fired from point blank range. Press U. We need information. We don't have anything, actually, so pressing is the best bet for this round. Point blank, huh? So about how far away was it? It was anywhere between 12 and 20 inches away. And how do you know he was shot point blank? Mr. Phoenix Wright, I grow tired of the foolish foolery of the foolish fools of this foolish country. Excuse me? Gunpowder burn. Gunpowder burn. When something is shot from point blank, a burn area is left around the bullet hole. Gunpowder exploding is what makes a bullet fire, and that gets real hot, pal. And there were definitely some gunpowder burns left on the victim's forehead. Well, never knew that. Live and learn, I guess. Stabbed? And what was he stabbed with? I do wonder what he was stabbed with, Phoenix. I mean, a piece of glass is also available. Not. He was stabbed with a candle. A fruit knife, what the fuck? Okay, I'll take it.
I see, and whose knife was it?
It looks like it belongs to the face, sir. And of course my face fingerprints are all over it.
All over it, huh?
This does not look good. What will you do now, Mr. Phoenix Wright? I'm going to keep on pressing, because that's all I can do. How severe was the wound? If it had been an inch more to the right, it would have hit the victim's heart. After a stab like that, it's impossible to fight back, let alone stand. This testimony makes Maya look like she stabbed him with the intent to kill. That's probably what she was going for, Phoenix, but it messed up. Are you sure he was stabbed first and then shot? Yep, sure can be. One look at the wounds and you'd come up with the same conclusion too, pal. A fool's a fool who will only listen to the foolish opinions of other foolish fools. A pistol shot to the forehead at point blank is certainly enough to kill instantly. Does it matter then which was first? I'm going to go back to that last statement you just made, and I'm going to prop up the Courier from Fallout New Vegas. Sorry, girlie, you have nothing. Think a little more before you open that big mouth of yours, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Again, the Courier from Fallout New Vegas. How about you think a little more? Play some video games, God. Oh, what a pain.
That's enough. We have clearly established how the victim was murdered.
Yeah, I brought the 2 murder weapons with me today.
Very well. The court accepts them into evidence.
The date and time of death was June 19th at 3:15 p.m. Eyewitnesses claim to have heard 2 gunshots at this time.
And the 2 murder weapons, both with the defendant's fingerprints on them. This does seem like an open and shut case.
Naturally. This is going from bad to worse. As if the summary just now wasn't oversimplifying things to the extreme. Your Honor, feel free to slam that little gavel of yours. After all, there's no room left for doubt, is there?
That is quite true, Mr. Wright.
Yes.
Even in the face of all of this, do you still wish to plead not guilty? It's the opinion of this court that if you do not adjust your plea, you stand to lose.
See, just as I promised, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You would change your plea in less than 10 minutes.
What will you do, Mr. Wright? Will you change to justified self-defense? Because now would be the time to do so. This is your final chance.
This is a huge decision. I better think through all the way. No, I'm pleading not guilty. If we plead justified self-defense, we would basically be confessing to a murder. After the trial, Maya's life would be destroyed, and she'd be labeled a murderer. I can't let that happen. Your Honor,
have you reached a conclusion, Mr. Wright?
The defense will not change its plea. We will accept nothing short of complete acquittal. What do you got to say, Von Karma? What you got, Francesco? Huh? You ain't got nothing. Blue hair. You have sealed your fate, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Detective. Yes, sir. Present the final portion of your testimony, the final strike. Yes, sir.
Now, see here, proceedings are run by... Oh, yes, of course. Go ahead, detective, and give your testimony. I'm gonna put some band-aids on these wounds.
I think the court would like to hear about the other piece of incriminating evidence. What you got? There can't be anything else. Sorry, pal, but there's an even more incriminating piece of evidence. This is the costume the defendant was wearing at the time of the crime. As you can see, it's covered in blood. The defendant attacked and killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back.
So this is the costume. There certainly is evidence of a back spray of blood on this.
This piece directly links Maya Fey to the crime, sir.
I see. The court accepts this into evidence. Alright, Mr. Wright.
Maya's fingerprints on both murder weapons and blood splatters on her clothes. Could this situation get any worse? Probably just a little bit if she keeps opening her mouth. Huh, what's wrong? You seem to be at a loss. I think this is the last piece of testimony the prosecution should have to offer. Feel free to sulk off with your tail between your legs, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Please stop calling me by my full name. It's disturbing. Alright, it's fine. We got this in the bag. That's not, no. That's nothing. Pretty sure this is it. This blood on the costume. Lab results show that it was the victim's blood.
So there is blood from the victim on the defendant's clothes.
Definitely not good. Were there any, goddammit, were there any other clues you could glean from this piece of evidence? Well, if you must change the topic, then the good detective here must testify again. But too bad, not enough time. Time to move on.
Ah, yes, Miss Von Karma is perfectly correct.
Now even the judge is on her side. But if I bite off more than I can chew here, what should I do? Press further. Always press further. Why is Miss Von Karma suddenly putting up resistance? Like father, like daughter. There must be a reason as to why she suddenly threw out an objection like that. I wonder why. There must be a clue somewhere on this costume. I just have to look harder.
Mr. Wright, Ms. Von Karma's logic is perfect. There's no way for you to poke a hole into it.
Looks like my time is up. So about the costume. There is one little thing. Your Honor, actually, there is something very wrong with this piece of evidence.
What?
What are you talking about, pal?
Where is this problem you were talking about?
I've come this far. There's no turning back now. Coincidentally, Judge said something about a hole. I'm pretty sure this is where I'm going with this. We gotta look at the hole. I asked the court to please take a look at the sleeve of this costume.
The sleeve. There's a tiny hole here.
A hole? But that wasn't in the report.
Hold on. What's this around the hole? It smells faintly of gunpowder.
Gunpowder? No one ever told me.
A hole that smells of gunpowder.
Looks like I found the hole I was looking for. Your Honor, the only logical conclusion you can make is that it must be a bullet hole. Whose logic is flawless now, Ms. Von Karma? Mine or yours?
Order! This is a very grave matter. It's best we correct the court record first before anything else.
Aha, I'm so cool. Sorry about that, I guess we messed up, sir. Is she actually smiling? What else is she hiding? Pull yourself together, detective. That tiny hole doesn't change a thing. The strength of the evidence still holds. Continue with your testimony. That, just now, was a fluke. Nothing more. How can you say something like that? This is a huge oversight.
Well, I agree it is a mistake on the part of the police. What Prosecutor Von Karma said is true. The evidence still stands. If you do not find a more definitive problem with the evidence, then...
No way.
Detective Gumshoe, please continue with your testimony.
Yes, sir. The defendant attacked and killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back. Is that? Didn't want that. Hold on. Gotta go to the start. I think I have to present something here. Oh wait, yes I do, because we just went over this. There was a sign of struggle right here. The defendant attacked and killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back, except for the part where, there was a bullet hole in Maya's costume, so... that kind of contradicts something. Detective Dick Gumshoe? Yes? Having you call me by my full name is kind of weird feeling. You said that my client killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back. Yeah, I did. Then what, may I ask, is the bullet hole you police overlooked supposed to mean? What does it mean? I'll tell you what it means. It means that the victim had fired off a shot. Is that what it means to not fight back?
You're right. It would seem that way. If the victim tried to shoot the defendant, then it would change everything.
Alright, the wind seems to be shifting. And what is with that "are you finished yet" laugh? Are you finished yet, Mr. Phoenix Wright?
Miss Von Karma?
It seems that Maya Fey was shot at by the victim. However, that is the only grounds enough to support a justified self-defense plea.
That is correct.
But I'm sure you remember, Your Honor, what the defense clearly said. Look, Von Karma's actually kinda smart. She went and locked us. They rejected justified self-defense and pleaded not guilty.
Now that you... Why, that's right.
Which means the defense has yet to prove anything at all.
Well, yes, that's true.
Furthermore, just the fact that there is a bullet hole in the costume is not enough to substantiate even a plea of justified self-defense.
Huh? How so?
Don't just stand there. Hurry up and tell the court what had transpired that day. With the new information we acquired added in, of course.
Huh?
Oh, you mean by myself? You want me to put together the scenario all by myself? I'll take that as a yes. Yes, sir. Right away, sir. During the channeling, the defendant saw her chance to stab the victim in the chest. Of course, the victim used the last of his strength to fight back, sir. While the two were fighting, the victim took out his gun. The victim took a shot, but because they were too close, he missed. The defendant then picked up on the opening, took the victim's gun, and ended it. Isn't this all just, made up bullshit that you think happened? I mean, it's obvious that's what it is, but I'm pretty sure you've called me out on doing the same thing multiple times. Don't do that.
The scenario you have put together does make sense.
Yes, sir.
Well, Mr. Wright.
Just by listening, it does make sense. However, I won't give up that easily.
Please refrain from glaring at me like that. I don't like it. It's kind of mean. Last time I was glared at like that was Mr. Von Karma. Oh, no offense, Francesca. Your father was a nice man, I'm sure. Besides, being a murderer and all.
Oh.
Now then, your cross-examination, please.
Alright, during the channeling, I don't give a shit about this at all. Of course, the victim used the last of his strength to fight back. While the two were fighting, the victim took out his gun and the victim took a shot, but because they were too close, he went and he missed. Missing the tiny hole on this costume will be the prosecution's undoing. What do you mean? This little hole has actually created a huge hole in your testimony.
Explain yourself, Mr. Wright, please. I'm not understanding this.
You said the two of them were fighting when the victim fired his gun at point blank. If that were true, then where's the gunpowder burn on this costume? Dun dun dun! That thing we just talked about, Gumshoe. This is what you testified earlier. When something is shot from point blank, a burn area is left around the bullet hole.
Oh!
But there's not a single trace of gunpowder burn on this costume.
Oh, that is a very good point. And what exactly does this mean?
It means exactly how you think it means, Judge. It means that Detective Gumshoe's theory is that a theory and not the truth at all. It means that when the shot was fired, they were standing apart from each other. I'm disappointed, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You think you can punch a hole in my logic with that? With wishy-washy thinking like that, anyone can explain anything away. then I implore you to disprove my line of thinking. Well, let's see. In the middle of their fight, the victim pushed the defendant away, and it was then, when they were separated, that he fired. How's that? As if that was a possibility. According to the testimony, the wound from the stabbing was very severe. The victim would not have had the strength to push the defendant very far after that. Her shocked pose is great. She just hugs herself and just, no, please get away. Well, then, that's right. The defendant must have pushed the victim away. After stabbing him, she must have put some space between the doctor and herself. And then, while she was preparing to strike again, the doctor took his shot. There, that should satisfy even you.
That does make an awful lot of sense. What do you think, Mr. Wright?
I must be careful. I can't afford to make a mistake here. Concentrate and think. You know, every time this question pops up, it's always the same thing. Nothing makes sense in this game. There's a fatal flaw in her argument, Your Honor. Fatal?
Flaw?
Very interesting. I would love to see where this flaw is. Show me something that contradicts my explanation. There has to be a snag in her explanation somewhere. She put some distance between them before rushing to make the final blow. And when she was about to strike, the doctor took his shot. There must be a piece of evidence that contradicts this line of thinking. Let's see, the floor plans for the crime scene. Now, I think I just hit the mic with my hand. I do apologize, and that, of course, does not give us the placement of the victim and the killer. Yay. So, I'm very confident that it's the folding screen, since that also has a gunshot in it. This is the piece of evidence that destroys your logic.
What is that? Folding screen? It has some stupid writing on it. I can't make it out. Is it Chinese? I can't speak that. I speak Japanifornia. Ease.
Oh. Excuse me. I would like to point the court's attention to the hole in this folding screen. It looks like you already know what I'm talking about.
Who?
Oh, where? What?
Mr. Wright, your explanation, please.
Are these two really that clueless? Apparently so. The bullet went through the defendant's sleeve first, then the folding screen. It passed through at a height of approximately 8 inches off the ground, which means when the shot was fired, Maya, I mean the defendant, was not getting ready to strike, but was actually squatting low to the ground.
This changes everything.
Please look at this diagram of the crime scene. The victim, Dr. Gray, was here when he fired the shot, and the bullet hit this folding screen. It hit at this location about 8 inches off the ground. At this time, the defendant was in this area. Oh no, don't give me this. I hate this game. I assume she was just standing in this block right here. I have no idea, actually. I'm going to get a strike. Nope, that wasn't it. Oh, it was? Oh man, cool. Wait a second. We know the defendant was close to the ground based on the height of the bullet hole, but how can you gauge the distance from that? Isn't it possible that the defendant was standing much closer to the victim? That's impossible. But why? You, of all people, should know the answer to that question, Ms. Von Karma. If she were shot from somewhere closer, there would be gunpowder burns present. However, there was nothing of the sort around the bullet hole of this costume. Curse you, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You.
I believe it has now been proven that The defendant was standing away from the victim when she was shot at. But do you think this has changed the defendant's situation?
I do wonder, does it change everything? I'm pretty sure it does, Chief. You just said that. You daft. Oh my god, I hate working with you people. Honestly, Your Honor, this changes everything. The prosecution has claimed the defendant was aiming to kill by stabbing. If that were true, delivering the final strike with a knife would be ideal. However, where and what was the defendant doing at the time? Squatting all the way down, all the way by the folding screen. Exactly. If Maya Fey was the real murderer, why would she be by the folding screen instead of preparing to strike?
Upon further consideration, it does make very little sense.
Yeah, I figured there had to be a reason. Figuring things out and proving the logic behind everything is your job. Oh, just burn Gumshoe. Don't need a burn heel for that. Alright, with this, the rest of the trial should be in the... No. Francesca, don't do it. Don't do it. Blast radius of disaster.
You are such a smart man, Mr. Phoenix Wright. To think that you've been able to take a completely hopeless case to this point. Now I know why Papa had a tough time with you. You amuse me.
Oh, thank you.
Of all the things to inherit, why did it have to be that smarmy smile?
Detective, how dare you damage my perfect logic?
How's it all my fault?
You can start by repairing your standing by first removing that 3-strand goatee. Oh, and rest assured, your punishment will come later. Ooh, kinky. Punishment.
Well then, Your Honor, I think I've had all I can take of this detective's face. I think it's time to call in the next witness.
Next witness? Oh, that's gotta be Lotta.
Very well. The court will take a 5-minute recess. After we reconvene, we will hear from the next witness.